gospel means good news. But the confusion sometimes occurs between knowing what good news is and what easy news is. We know that commitments are not easy. A commitment to one person for life involves life, passion, resilience, intensity, and vulnerability to each other until death do them part. To live that commitment is for the rest of one's life is certainly no piece of cake, even if it's a wedding cake. For Jesus, marriage is a living sign and a living sacrament of love and care meant to exist in all of our relationships, male and female, friendships, community, nations, world, even in the environment. Every person on this earth should be able to grow and live having a sense of security and faithfulness in our relationships. Just as unfaithfulness, abuse, and indifference in a marriage diminishes God's intention, so does war, hunger, hate, racism diminish the dignity of all humanity. So then marriage within a Christian community is a visible sign, challenging each of us who are imperfect, unfinished persons, to strive for the ideal, living on this planet in solidarity with each other, rather than being alone together. And to do this, we live as a community with each other, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health. The teaching of Christ in today's gospel is not just about divorce and remarriage. It's also a reminder of our interdependence, being called to support each other and being the means of God's grace in this world for one another, where we say from our whole heart each and every day as we look out on all of our brothers and sisters, I want you to be. We know that that has to occur in marriage. Husband and wife have to be able to say day after day, I want you to be. I want you to be not what I want you to be, but I want you to be what God wants you to be. But we have to say that to everyone. So marriage becomes the symbol of our unity as a community. This interdependence translates itself in our life here at Christ the Servant in being that living sign of God's love. And that living sign of God's love reaches out to a vast number of people. Since 2015, our Hope and Opportunity Outreach Committee have collected over 81,961 pounds of food. That's a lot of food, isn't it? 81,000, almost 82,000 pounds of food. That's over 40 tons of food that translates into over 68,000 meals. This year, as in the past, our relationship, that interdependence, that solidarity with Catholic Charities and Hope Outreach Ministries, we are celebrating our 3rd anniversary on October 13th and 14th. So we were asking you to be prepared for Sock It to Me Sunday. That's next week. And we're asking if you are able to bring a new pair of white men's socks along with your regular food donation, because that seems to be one of the needs. Your generosity and relationship with Catholic Charities and Hope Outreach certainly reflect our commitment as a community to those in need, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health. I would ask you now to hear the difference that you make from the leaders of Catholic Charities.
Hi, I'm George Garchard, Executive Director of Catholic Charities serving Portage and Stark counties. Heather and I would just like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the good parishioners of Christ the Servant Parish. Catholic Charities really tries to extend the love of God to people who are less fortunate in our communities, and really to do our best to advance the Church's mission of charity. But we really couldn't do any of that without the generosity and work of good people such as yourselves. We serve really a range of people, all the way from homeless folks to working poor, and even to those who just have a brief bump in the road on an economic challenge along the way. When you combine all of our ministries across our 3 sites, last year we welcomed over 25,000 visits to our agency for various services. Your parish has been particularly involved and important in our food pantry ministry, which is where we're shooting this. And Heather, our site manager for the Canton office, will talk a little bit more about that ministry.
Yes, I'm Heather. I'm the site manager here in the Canton office. Over the last 3 years, you guys have been instrumental in creating and aiding to our food ministry by allowing us to serve as many individuals and families as possible. When someone comes to us in need of emergency food, we always try to give them about 3 days of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But prior to your regular food donations on a regular basis, we would consistently get to a point in the month where we would have to refer to other food pantries to service that ability to get 3 days. We would very regularly run out of food until our next food bank order came in. But since your regular food mission and delivery began to us, we have not had to close our food pantry not one time due to completely running out of food. We've had over 5,500 visits to our food pantry in the last 3 years, and that is just an astounding number. I wanted to mention also that along with food, obviously behind us here you can see we collect taxable items. Taxables are things that we refer to that are basic hygiene items that you cannot use governmental assistance to purchase. So they're really important for us to have on hand. So things like soap, toilet paper, feminine hygiene products, those are things that a lot of populations that we see are regularly seeking because they can't get them in other ways, so they're really important. So I'll just instill that if you're thinking about donating to our food pantry or potentially the taxables, either one is great. Both are much appreciated to any of our folks. Just know that any contribution you make is appreciated. On behalf of the Catholic Charities staff here at Canton, Portage, and Stark County in general, but most importantly on behalf of all of our clients that we serve that are able to come here seeking things like food and taxables, it's just greatly appreciated. So thank you. We could not do it without you.
Thanks so much.
And Pastor Marilyn from Hope Outreach Ministries also has a message for you today.
Hello, I'm Pastor Marilyn Roman with Hope Outreach Ministries here on Superior Avenue in the northeast side of Canton, the old Clocker Hall, part of St. Paul's, and I really want to thank everybody today for all that you do, for all the food, our pantry, just filling our pantry with over 1,200 people a week coming through. That's just been really a blessing to us, and I especially want to thank you for all the peanut butter on Peanut Butter Sunday, because again, to be able to give the children peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and to send a jar of peanut butter home with homeless people is really wonderful. I really also want to mention about the furniture that everyone donates and brings and how much it helps people that are moving from especially the domestic violence shelter. And another important message I want to share with you is all of the men and women that come and serve the meal on Sunday, that has helped us so much not only just coming and serving and meeting our people and getting to know everyone, but what a burden it takes off of us to be able to get a rest once in a while, and to do that twice a month is really wonderful. And again, from the bottom of my heart and all the people here at Hope Outreach Ministry, we're very, very grateful. We love you guys, and we just thank you and thank God and Father Lou and all of you for everything that you do for us. Thank you, and God bless you so much.
We thank all of you for your commitment each and every Sunday. You remember 3 years ago when we asked you to bring one non-perishable item to Mass. I mentioned that, many times when I hear confessions, people will come to confession and say, Father, I missed Mass on Sunday. And I say, did you really miss it? But when we started bringing one of the perishable goods with us, not only do, when we miss Mass, but hopefully you do miss it in here, in your heart, but they also, many people, miss one meal. So your generosity, your commitment, your remembrance of them, it really binds us together. That's the relationship that God speaks about in today's gospel. The relationship that we should have with one another that binds us together so that we are not alone on this planet, but we are together in love and in care and compassion. God bless you.